And Paula Miller, Executive Director of the Library District, will be speaking.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm looking around for a few people that I'm going to call. I want to start by thanking you for joining us today. This is a very special event for us, and it is, as you know, to honor two individuals who mean so much to us here at the Pikes Peak Library District. Now, this is a very special occasion. Pikes Peak Library District knows very well the importance of philanthropy. Without assistance from our foundation, from our Friends group, and from initiatives such as the Shivers Fund, we would not be able to do the amazing and wonderful programs that we're able to do in this district. So we very much appreciate that. So I want to again thank you all for joining us today as we unveil an early painting by Clarence Shivers, and as we honor both Peggy and Clarence for their contributions not just to the Library District, but really to our entire community. Now, probably most of you in the audience right now know or knew Clarence and know Peggy. But I'm going to begin anyway by telling you a little bit about them. Clarence was born in St. Louis in 1923. He was orphaned at the age of 16, and in 1943 he trained as a fighter pilot with the Tuskegee Airmen, the celebrated Black Pilot Fighter Squadron. He retired from the Air Force in 1969 as a lieutenant colonel. He lived in Spain, pursuing an art career for 10 years with Peggy, a music teacher and opera soprano, before they moved to Colorado Springs, where he quickly became recognized as a trailblazer for the region's black artists. Now in 1993, and please think about this, that's almost 2 decades ago, Clarence and Peggy inaugurated the Shivers Fund at Pikes Peak Library District. This fund benefits our African American historical and cultural collection here at the library, and it provides cultural opportunities. The programs through this fund bring world-class singers and musicians here, and they provide assistance for area arts and music students, including Colorado College Music Festival, CC's Vocal Arts Symposium, the Colorado Springs Children's Chorale, and the Colorado Springs Conservatory. The Shivers Fund, by the way, has won the NAACP's Community Award for Philanthropy. That was in 2006. And Peggy herself has received many honors, including the Outstanding Community Service Award from Pikes Peak Community Foundation, Outstanding Dedication and Commitment to Democratic Ideas and Equality in Colorado by Colorado Humanities, and recognition from her sorority very recently for her extensive involvement in the community. Peggy's very active with Artemis, Pikes Peak Arts Council, Colorado Springs Philharmonic, Colorado College, her sorority, and probably numerous others that I don't even have on my list. Sadly, Clarence passed away in 2007, but his name and spirit lives on through the Shivers Fund and through his artwork. Now, again, I know that many of you knew Clarence and know Peggy, but I just want to say on a personal note, that was my formal background and introduction. I just want to say on a personal note that my husband Jay and I were fortunate to meet and know Clarence for a little over a year after we moved here before he passed away. We loved his sense of humor, we loved his zest for life, and we love his art. And Peggy, as you know, we really love your quiet grace, your can-do attitude, your commitment to this community, and we treasure your friendship. Now, we're almost to the unveiling.
Sure.
But we have a little storytelling to do first. Now, and I didn't forewarn Peggy of this, but I'm going to ask her to come up and just say a few words about how you first saw this painting.
Hello everyone, I'm so glad to see you. I really appreciate your being here. But way back in 1966, my brother was stationed at Vandenberg Air Force Base, and I would go down to visit him. I was living in San Francisco, and I'd be the only single person in the group. I said, isn't there somebody on this base that you can introduce me? And nobody worth meeting, he said, nobody worth meeting. So one time I went down. You know, when you're young, you do stupid things, but I'd been up all night long. I was tired. I looked terrible. And my brother says, I've got somebody I want you to meet. It was Clarence. Now, at that time, I was in my 20s, and Clarence was in his 40s. So to me, initially, I just thought of him as an old man. And then, Clarence took me by to see some of his artwork, and there was this one painting that just mesmerized me. I just loved it. Well, I went on back to San Francisco, and Clarence invited me back down for something about 2 weeks later. And of course, I asked about the painting. Someone had bought it. So I saw it only that one time, briefly. And the story of who bought it, he told me that this lady had seen it when he displayed it at Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska, and she had looked him up and found where he was, asked if he still had the painting, and he did still have the painting, so she had her husband to fly down and pick it up. And that family has a wonderful history in the military. The name is Robert Heiser, Huyser, and I'd like for you to look him up on the computer. And for those of you who don't have a computer, I have a couple of that I copied that will tell you all about him. He had an amazing career. But if you will allow me, the people who bought it are both passed away. The daughter and her husband are handling the estate. And I tried to get her to come up for this, but she couldn't make it. But she sent me a history of where the painting has been since I saw it. And I'll just read you, just skip over it a little bit. When I was a little girl, my parents lived at Offutt Air Force Base. One day my mother was hanging a picture over the mantle. The painting scared me. Mother was a born-again Christian. She told me that the world would end by fire one day. But in time, the painting became part of our home, and I felt comfortable sitting and looking at the hope and compassion in the kneeling man's eyes. Then we moved to Columbus Air Force Base, Mississippi. From there we moved to, I guess it's Kincheloe Air Force Base in Michigan. It was a very, very cold place. My dad would have a fire going in the fireplace a lot. There was the kneeling man surrounded by fire above the mantle. It would mesmerize me, with the real flames below the painting warming my soul from being on the flight line with my dad, watching him direct people going off to Vietnam. I was old enough to know there was a war going on, and our pilots were getting shot down. I would go to the painting and pray for our troops. Then we moved back to SAC, and I think SAC is Offutt again. Clarence was retiring when we got married, so I don't know how that stuff. Then we moved back to SAC. This time, my dad was on General's Row. The house had 3 fireplaces, but the painting again hung above the main fireplace. My mother was president of the Waiting Wives Club. She wrote the monthly newsletter to keep the wives informed about the status of their husbands. I can remember she would have the ladies over for tea. The painting was well loved and seen by many. Then we moved to Washington, D.C., and she goes on to tell even more. But the painting has really, really traveled. And I'm just so thrilled to have it here now. But before I stop, I just have to say, working with this library for the 20 years has been just wonderful. I've been through 4 directors, but I think we have the best one now. Office I work through directly, and I really feel, and I think they do too, we're like family. We really have a good time working together. And then we have people who are not connected with the librarian that have all of those people on the Shivers committee. They are so helpful, and Lillian Mallory is there. She's been with me since 1993 and still going. Everybody for all that they have done. I really appreciate it, and this is my birthday.
Happy birthday!
And I am so happy to still be here. I don't mind saying I'm 73 years old.
And now I'm going to ask James Stewart to come up and continue the story. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Jim.
How could I do this? The reason we have this painting is my granddaughter, quite by accident, saw on eBay that one of Granddaddy's paintings was for sale. Come on up, Terry. You knew her mother, because she came to everything that we did. Sandra. Sandra we lost, unfortunately, a couple of years after Clarence. But we still have my beautiful granddaughter, and I'm so proud and happy that she found this painting. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Tell us the story.
Well, thank you for having this. I'm not a speaker, but I'm just, Red Tails movies were coming out. So I started looking up Tuskegee and looking up my grandpa. And some kind of way this eBay popped up with this painting. And I go, that's Grandpa's. I'm gonna call Grandma and see what's going on here. So I called her, and next thing I know, she was like, you want to come down? We have a dedication in the library. Bought the painting, so that was just great. It just made me feel so special. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Stewart, and somehow or another I'm involved in this in a little way, and I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. I'm not an artist, I don't know a lot about art, but I do know a little bit about business. And when people buy art, there's art that's public art and there's art that's private art. And obviously this was private art. It was bought by an individual and their family, and they kept that art, and it was in the private sector. In other words, the family was able to see that art. What happens with private art is normally that gets passed from generation to generation, and if in fact they like it, that's fine. If in fact they don't, then it may go on the wayside. What we have here is private art that is now back in the public sector. And it's really, really important that this private art be in the public sector, because we know all of the contribution that Clarence has given to our community, both at the Air Force Academy as well as all of the art that's displayed here in the library and various other places in Colorado Springs. Plus, this is Clarence's home. So, when you were able to find that art on eBay, Peggy and I, well, Peggy called me up and said, how do I do this? What is eBay? And from there, we came up with a plan, and we executed that plan, and essentially the plan was to recover the art. There were some bumps in the road, but we figured out how to make it happen. I got my airplane, flew down, and met with the folks who had the art, and we did an exchange in the middle of an airport and brought the art back, and it is here in Colorado Springs. Now it's public art. It's for everyone to see and everyone to enjoy in our community, and I think that's extremely important. And we really have to thank Paula for making it happen. She was the one that kind of worked the magic to make sure we could do everything that we need to do, and that shows a commitment from our people in the public sector as well as in the private sector. But this is an important day, not only because it's Peggy's birthday, but because we have a piece of Clarence back here in Colorado Springs.
I haven't seen her yet. Is Queen is right there. I just want to let you know that England is not the only place who has a queen. We have our very own Queen Brown right here, who's going to say a few words.
I'm Queen Brown, and no, I'm not related to Queen Palmer. Someone asked me that last night. Paula had asked if I would say a couple of words about Clarence and Peggy. And I just want you to know, most of you know them very well, but I want you to know what a special couple they were, and what a special lady Peggy is continuing to be. They are indeed role models in this community. As Jim Stewart already said, they have done so much. They've contributed more than we could ever list in terms of what they have done. They both are people of exceptional talent. There are many people who have exceptional talent, but the measure of a man and the measure of a woman is what you do with that exceptional talent. So today, as the unveiling is done, we just want to share with you that these two individuals have used their talents to make this world a better place, to make a difference in the lives of so many, and to do some things that are far-reaching. And we are proud of you, and proud to know you, proud to love you, and proud that you love us back. And I knew it was your birthday. Peggy, celebrating wonderful you and wishing you God's blessings today and always. For all the thoughtful things you do and the caring things you say, may you be blessed with happiness today and every day. God bless you.
We are also honored today to have with us City Councilwoman and art supporter Jan Martin, who will also come up and just say a few things.
Thank you, Paula. Do you know, Peggy, I sort of have a personal rule that I try to keep a little lower profile on weekends. But when I heard about this event this afternoon and the unveiling of Clarence's painting, I knew I had to be here. Peggy, what you and Clarence have given to this community is just unbelievable. Colorado Springs is a better city today because of the two of you. And happy birthday, by the way, that I am so thrilled to be here this afternoon to be able to see the unveiling of the painting. Peggy, thank you for everything on behalf of the city of Colorado Springs.
I'd like to also invite up Kathleen Owings, President of our Board of Trustees.
I will be very brief, but I did want to say thank you to Peggy for all that she does for the Pikes Peak Library District. I did not have the privilege of knowing and meeting her husband. However, I do have to say I have a special place in my heart for Army pilots. My husband and I both served in the Army. We met as cadets actually at West Point, and Michael was a pilot. So I have a very special place in my heart for Army pilots, and also a special place for Peggy, who does such a tremendous amount for the district, continues to help us out and be a wonderful support of the district, and hope we can continue that relationship and build upon it. So thank you very much. And this is in honor of your husband today, who is hopefully, I know he is, looking down upon us, enjoying this day. And then also happy Father's Day to all the fathers out here. It's a great day tomorrow to celebrate that. And happy birthday, Peggy. Thank you.
Okay, without further ado, Peggy, could you come up front and kind of stand at the front? And people taller than I will be unveiling the painting. You'll be happy to hear.
That's a good one.
Ready? Wait, on my count.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Oh, no, you didn't.